The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less, by Barry Schwartz. Have you ever stood in front of a supermarket shelf filled with 50 types of cereal and somehow walked away feeling more frustrated than fulfilled? Or opened Netflix, scrolled for 20 minutes, and ended up watching nothing? In a world that promises us freedom through choice, why do we so often feel trapped, anxious, and dissatisfied? That's the paradox of choice. The idea that while freedom is good, too much freedom can actually make us miserable. In this video, we'll explore psychologist Barry Schwartz's groundbreaking ideas from his book, The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less. We'll break down how choice overload affects our happiness, decision-making, and mental health, and what we can do to reclaim peace of mind in an age of endless options. Chapter 1. The Age of Infinite Choice. Modern life offers more options than ever before. We can customize everything: our phones, our clothes, our food, even our dating preferences. At first glance, this seems wonderful. More choice should mean more freedom, more satisfaction, and more happiness. But Schwartz noticed something strange. When people faced too many options, they often made worse decisions or avoided deciding altogether. Think about shopping for jeans. You walk into a store and see dozens of fits, colors, and fabrics. You finally pick one, but instead of feeling satisfied, you wonder if there might have been a better pair. That tiny doubt steals your joy. That's the paradox. More choice feels like freedom, but in reality, it often brings confusion, paralysis, and regret. Chapter 2. When choice becomes a burden. Schwartz calls this choice overload. When the number of options passes a certain threshold, our brains stop processing efficiently. Instead of liberating us, choice becomes a burden. Psychologists have found that people are more likely to buy jam when offered only 6 flavors instead of 24. Fewer options make it easier to decide and feel good about the decision. Every extra option adds cognitive load, forcing us to compare, calculate, and second-guess ourselves. Choice overload doesn't just waste time, it drains emotional energy. You're not only choosing, you're worrying about choosing wrong. Chapter 3. The Hidden Cost of Freedom. In traditional societies, life paths were limited but clear. Today, the modern world tells us, you can be anything you want. That message sounds empowering, but it's also terrifying. Because when everything is possible, every choice becomes a reflection of who you are. Did you pick the right job, the right partner, the right lifestyle? And if you're not perfectly happy, well, it must be your fault. You had every opportunity, right? Schwartz calls this the tyranny of small decisions. Freedom without boundaries turns into pressure to choose perfectly, to optimize every moment. Chapter 4. Maximizers versus Satisficers. One of the book's most powerful insights is the distinction between maximizers and satisficers. Maximizers always want the best possible choice. They research endlessly, compare all options, and rarely feel content. Even after deciding, they keep thinking about what they might have missed. Satisficers, on the other hand, look for something that's good enough. Once they find an option that meets their needs, they stop searching and move on. Schwartz's studies found that maximizers often achieve better results, higher salaries, better jobs, but they're less happy. They suffer more from regret, indecision, and self-doubt. Meanwhile, satisficers are happier, more optimistic, and less prone to depression, even if their choices aren't objectively better. This insight is revolutionary. Happiness doesn't come from getting the best, it comes from feeling good enough. Chapter 5. The 4 Emotional Traps of Too Much Choice. Schwartz identifies 4 major psychological traps that come with abundance. First, regret and anticipated regret. After choosing, we imagine the outcomes of the options we didn't pick. Even small differences make us feel like we failed. We become haunted by what if. Second, opportunity cost. When you choose one thing, you give up everything else. The more options you're aware of, the heavier this cost feels. Every decision becomes a loss as well as a gain. Third, escalating expectations. More choice raises our standards. When we have access to the best of everything, anything less feels disappointing, even if it's great by past standards. Fourth, self-blame. When things go wrong, we blame ourselves, not the world, not luck. After all, we made the choice. This internal pressure magnifies anxiety and erodes self-esteem. Chapter 6. How Too Many Choices Hurt Society. This isn't just about individuals. Choice overload changes culture. In workplaces, employees overwhelmed by endless benefits and career paths often feel less committed. In dating apps, endless swiping trains us to treat people as options, not connections. In politics, too many policies or parties can make voters disengage entirely. When everyone is chasing the best option, nobody feels satisfied, and trust in systems declines. Ironically, the more freedom we create, the more disconnected we become from purpose and community. Chapter 7. The Myth of Perfect Choice. We believe if we gather enough information, we can find the perfect option, but perfection is an illusion. Life is full of unknowns, emotions, timing, chance, things no comparison chart can capture. The truth is, there's no best partner, job, or meal, only choices that fit your values and moment in time. Schwartz reminds us, happiness is not the result of making perfect choices, but of making peace with our choices. Letting go of the fantasy of perfection is a radical act of freedom. Chapter 8. How to Escape the Paradox. So, how do we live better in a world of too much choice? Here are Schwartz's practical strategies, each one simple but transformative. First, limit options. Set boundaries before deciding. Pick 3 restaurants, not 30. Narrow choices intentionally, freedom within focus. Second, be a satisficer. Adopt a good enough mindset. Perfection isn't happiness, peace is. Choose something that meets your needs and stop looking back. Third, practice gratitude. After deciding, focus on what's right about your choice. List the benefits instead of replaying the losses. Fourth, reduce social comparison. Avoid measuring your choices against others. Social media makes everyone else's decisions look perfect, but they're not. Fifth, embrace constraints. Rules and limits can be liberating. They save energy and protect focus. That's why artists, monks, and entrepreneurs often thrive with structure. Sixth, make important choices automatic. Routines reduce decision fatigue. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily to save mental bandwidth. Decide once, then automate. Seventh, cultivate acceptance. No decision is ever perfect. Learn to accept imperfection. It's the price of peace. Eighth, focus on meaning, not options. Instead of asking, what's the best choice? Ask, what matters most to me? Meaning turns confusion into clarity. Chapter 9. The Freedom to Choose Less. True freedom isn't about having more, it's about needing less. When we stop chasing infinite possibilities, we rediscover depth in relationships, in work, in ourselves. Every no creates space for a more powerful yes. Minimalism, slow living, and digital detox movements all echo this idea. That peace comes not from excess, but from focus. The happiest people aren't those who have everything, but those who cherish what they already have. Conclusion: why less is truly more. Barry Schwartz ends his book with a humble truth. Happiness requires freedom, but freedom requires boundaries. Choice, like oxygen, is essential, but too much suffocates. The paradox of choice isn't just about consumer decisions, it's about the soul in the age of abundance. When we simplify, focus, and choose with intention, we reclaim joy. We stop living in the shadow of what if, and finally start living the life we've chosen. So next time you face a wall of endless options, pause, breathe, and remember, the best choice is not the perfect one, but the one that lets you move forward in peace. If this message resonated with you, consider giving yourself a moment of simplicity, unsubscribe from one distraction, close one extra tab, or make one decision without overthinking. Because sometimes the most powerful choice is choosing less. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this summary, hit like, subscribe, and check out our playlist for more book breakdowns on psychology and happiness.